Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk to you about Beyond the Gates, episodes 50 to 54. So not a lot happened this week. It was a really pretty a chill week. We had the fallout of the continuation of the fallout of the Ted, Nicole, Ava, Leslie stories. So again, not a lot happened this week. We're just gonna talk. This probably won't be a long video. So let's see, where do I start? Because again, not a lot happened this week. It was still a good week. I did enjoy all the episodes. I would start with my performers of the week was Miss Mona and Miss Cat, because Mona had the good lines, Cat had the good lines. When Mona came in Monday, she came in hot. She was trying to find out all the stuff that she can find out about how Leslie got their money. She went to that casino and they were just like, nah, we don't tell people, we don't tell who people that come here, and no, we don't have no slot machines. And then she seen Ava and she sat there and she read Ava fulfilled. Um and then when she was asking Ava for the key back, and Ava was just like, Eva, I'm so sorry. Eva was like a little bit sad that she had to give the key back, because I feel like she wanted to keep that key because she wanted a reason to come back and see Nicole. So she handed over the key, and then she was just like, man, I lost everything. And then Mona looked all sad. She was just like, oh. And then she touched and she was just like, good. I was like, oh, that was a good line. Then Mona went to go see Leslie, and she told her like um, Mona, she went to Leslie to go find out where she got the money, and Leslie lied, saying that she maxed out her credit cards, and it was just like, girl, you just stay lying. Like, can't nobody believe anything that comes out your mouth at this point. And Mona told her, hell was made for people like you. Enjoy the burn. I was just like, ooh, that was a bar. That was a good little bar. But on Monday's episode, we ended last week with Danny showing up to Ted's and Leslie showing up to Nicole's. And, Leslie came in there all like trying to be, oh, woe is me. I'm so sorry I did this to you, X, Y, and Z. And Nicole was just like, Heifer, please. Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? You had ample opportunity to tell me what it was, but you didn't. You wanted to embarrass me. So what is it that you want? And Leslie let her, she let her true color show. She showed her the DNA. And Nicole was just like, okay, and thank you for your services. Now get out of my house. So she kicked her out. Leslie was mad because she was just like, oh, this bougie lady had the nerve to kick me out her house and da 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 all this other stuff. And it's just like, Leslie, like, you have a heart on for Nicole. And it's like, why? Nicole didn't do anything to you. It's not Nicole's fault that Ted didn't want to be with you. Like Nicole said, you fell in love with a man who wasn't in love with you, who didn't really, you was a jump off. You was somebody who was there to help him escape from getting, like, feeling his true feelings, pretty much. Because like when later in the week when he was talking to Kat, and he was just basically saying like, I didn't know that the miscarriages hurt me as much as they did until, we found out that we were pregnant with you, and we were just like hoping that we weren't going to lose you. So it was just like he just really stepped out because he was trying to hide from his feelings. So he was never going to leave his wife for you, Leslie. Like, at the end of the day, he was never going to leave his wife for you. So for you to be all in her face and making it seem like she's the reason why he's not with you and she stole your life. Again, she did not steal your life. That life was not yours. Nicole was going to have that life regardless of who she married, because it's her. Like, she is the Dupree. She is not a Richardson. I mean, Ted is not a Dupree. Nicole is. So it's like, this life that you want for your daughter, which is the Dupree life, your daughter is not going to have that because she is not a Dupree. Well, we don't know, because we don't really know if that's her daughter, if she, all the theories that are going on, we don't know. But as of now, she is not a Dupree, she is a Richardson. So all this, you going to Anita and Vernon's, you going to Nicole's, like all this stuff that you're doing, you going to the wrong people. You need to be talking to Andre, because that's the family that she needs to be trying to get close to. Like, she not gonna get close to Anita and them. That's no, she's not gonna get close to Chelsea and Naomi, because they are not they are that's Ted's niece and nephew by marriage. That ain't even blood niece and nieces. So it's like, you coming doing all this stuff trying to get Eva into the door with the Duprees is not going to work, because again, she is not a Dupree. But Leslie don't want to hear it, so she's going to be on that. Danny, she went to go see Ted. She gave him a piece of her mind. He was just like, all right, I heard what you got to say, you got to go. Then as she's leaving, her mama comes, and so she's just like, oh, I can't leave yet, my mom's here. So she come in, her and Anita going tit for tat with Ted, and at the end of it, Anita was just like, you need to handle your business. Like, you need to get that lady in check, because she's showing up at my door. No, sir, no, ma'am. You need to get that lady in check. So he goes to Leslie and was basically like, you need to leave my family alone. And it's like, I get what Ted is doing, like, by confronting her, but at the same time, it's like, you're not doing enough for me, for Nicole, because it's like, you keep going to see Leslie. And again, I understand the reasons why you went to go see Leslie. Like, the first time you went to go see Leslie to tell her to stay away from your family, but you sat there and you let her touch up all on you. The next time you went to go see her is because you wanted to throw a party for you want to throw like a little something because it's Ava's birthday. I forgot to mention, we got a new Ted. He debuted on Thursday's episode. So that was the episodes where um Kat has a discussion with her dad, and she doesn't forgive him, but she when she's talking about how she has love for him. We also find out, what I also forgot to mention was, in the episode where Ted finds out it's Eva's birthday, he goes to Leslie to let her know that he's trying to get people together to like do something for her birthday. And Leslie is just like, she's ungrateful, I don't care, I disowned her. And she gives her sob story about how she was all alone when she had her, and like that was like the worst feeling in the world. And she gave her little sob story so that Ted would feel bad for her. Hopefully it didn't work, but we shall see in the next coming weeks, because we see next week's episode, we see him coming to her door, and it's just like, oh Lord, why, Ted, why? But again, we shall see. But it's just like, earlier in the week, she was basically just saying how she disowned her daughter because she picked your side. Like, I don't understand why you even went. I get it, but again, I don't. But it's like, okay, whatever. So after Anita and Danny done went off on Ted, they went to Uptown. And while they're at Uptown, Eva comes. um yes, Eva comes, and she, like, Danny brings her to the table and was just like, basically like telling her to come sit with them so they can talk. And Anita, she tells her, I'm sorry the way that you grew up, and that your mom ain't ish, and that she did you like she did you. But I just need you to get one thing straight: because of what you did to my daughter, you will never be a part of the Dupree. And the way Amber Michelle, her lip quivers and she like gets teary eyed, I'd be like, oh, I felt so bad for her in that scene. I was just like, oh, Anita, why? But I get it, because it's just like, yeah, no, what? No, no. And it's like, all this stuff that they saying, like, between Anita saying you ain't never gonna be a Dupree, between Nicole saying, oh, like, when Martin and Kat came to the house, and she was telling them how what's it called, Leslie had just left. And Martin was saying, oh yeah, Chelsea was saying that Kat has like some kind of telepathy with Eva, because they're so close in age and their birthdays around the same. And Nicole was just like, oh, like a twin thing. It's just like, it's like really heavy handed on the Eva may be a Dupree. So it's like, okay, if you watch soaps, you know the clues, the signs, like all this stuff that they talking, those are like heavy handed, letting you know, like, okay, later on down the line, they may make it this way. They may not, but they may. But it's just like, okay, we getting there. So what else happened on Monday's episode? It's like the stuff that they like this week. I will say that the only stories that I was really into was the uh Leslie, Eva, Ted, Nicole stories. Those are really the ones that I was looking forward to. I know we saw Ashley and Derek, and we can just go ahead and get them out the way right now. Ashley don't like that man. She is second guessing the fact that she let him move into her house, and it's like, and I hate that she is making me stick up for Derek, because it's like he is trying, and you are still like doing the absolute most. And then when he's giving you options, like, okay, you was telling him how this house was your first grown-up thing, and you decorated it and you did all this other stuff. You see this place as your own, like you don't see it as y'all's together, which is like, if you weren't trying to share it with him, you should have never invited him to move in. You should have told him, I'm not ready for us to move in together. Go ahead and re-up your lease with your roommates, because that's really what you all of this would have been nipped in the bud if you would have did that. But you wanted to be like, oh, we're compatible, so let's do this and da 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 da. And it's just like, no, y'all are not compatible. And again, you do not like that man, so you just need to let it go, because he offered to say, okay, let's get a place for both of us. That way it can be both of ours. And it's like, you not trying to hear that. You just don't want him in your house. And that's understandable. Let him know. Let him know that's not what you want. And again, y'all aren't compatible. When you took that test, you knew y'all weren't compatible, but you still chose to, for whatever reason, stick with this man when you knew it wasn't. You want Andre. I don't know why. I really hate that they're going back down this road, but that's where we're going apparently. And it's like, it's, and I think like watching this week, it was just like both of them are blah, but I think Derek and Tomas are like the same to me. They have no emotions. They're both of the actors are just blah for me. Like I just they're boring. But Ashley is worse, because she's just like, I don't know what it is about those two. It's just like, oh God. Whenever they come on the screen, it's like, oh my God. Like even when they're in scenes with people that I like when I will say I did like the scene when I'm sorry, I like the editing and the directing when they were both talking about their issues, when they were talking to Jacob and Naomi about their issues, and they were going back and forth, like they were both saying the same thing but in different meanings or whatever. I like that directing. But again, at the same time, it was just like, even when they're in scenes with Jacob and Naomi, it's just like, y'all are still boring. Y'all like, Jacob and Naomi can't even save y'all. That's how it's just like, I guess. So that was their story. Then we also had Doug, Vanessa, and the Joey story. Joey lets Doug know what he really wants with Vanessa, which is to launder money through his shop, through her business. And Doug is just like, not no, but hell no, I'm not about to do that. And Doug is like, okay, well then, if not, you need to give me my money plus interest in a week. And there's no way that he can do that. So he has no choice but to do this, which he's like, I'm not going to do it. And so Doug is just like, well, if you don't tell her, I'm sorry, Joey is like, if you don't tell her, I'm going to tell her, and I'm going to get it. Either way it goes, I'm going to get what I want. And he's over there flirting with Vanessa, texting her and all this other stuff. And it's like, Vanessa, girl, you a hot box. Like, chill out. Like, and then she gonna have the nerve to be like looking for her husband because he didn't come home one night because he was out gambling, because he back on that. But you gonna call him, and when you telling Nicole like he didn't come home and I didn't know where he was, and maybe he was like, girl, you out, you the one that's out here dipping it and doing it. Like you got men showing up to you at Orphe Jeans talking about, oh, I like what we did the other night. Girl, stop it. You can't say nothing to Doug if he were to step out on you, because you been stepping out on him. You stepped out on him with Doug. You about to step out on him. I mean, with Diego, you about to step out on him with Joey. You stepping out with him with all these escorts that you got. Girl, you ain't got no room to say nothing about nothing. So stop. Please stop. So that was their storyline. Um, we see who, oh, and then the June storyline. So June, she back on the streets. They done found her. She's sick. She find out that she got I said Naomi. Found out she got pneumonia. She got pneumonia, so she has to have surgery. And she was just acting a plum mess. When they take her to the hospital, Naomi finds a picture that she left in the booth at Orphe Jeans. So she picks up the picture and we see a glimpse of the picture. So I know people have been saying, oh, they think that she is Samantha and Tyrell's mom. And it's like, with the picture that she had, it was just like, oh, that picture looks too old to be a picture of Samantha and Tyrell. I really think that it's a picture of her and Haley. She may be Haley's sister, and Haley knows that she's on the street, but it's just like, I'm too good for my sister. So she's not like, she's not like trying to help her or anything like that. Cause I feel like Haley needs to have something. Like, she's just too blah for me. Not blah, but she's too like, she acts like she's too good. And it's just like, girl, you a cheater. You came through and you wrecked these people's lives for you to be like, woe is me and all this stuff. Like, you have to have some skeletons in your closet. And I hope this is one of the skeletons. So it's just like, Naomi's gonna find out, oh, this is Haley's sister, and then she gonna like, try to, make Haley look bad. So it's just like, I hope that's where we're going, something, or we going somewhere with this June storyline. But I hope it's not the Samantha and Tyrell portion, because it don't look like that'll fit. So I hope that's not where they're gonna go with that. So we had that storyline. Also, we had, what else did we have this week? Oh yeah, Danny gets Nicole to come out the house, so she takes her to the country club. And while she's at the country club, that's where they see um Eva and Ted, because Ted was just like, you're my daughter, you belong here just like I belong here. So they're out, eating brunch, lunch, whatever you want to call it. They're together. And the town gossip, Anastasia, she's showing up, and she's just like, oh, us woman who cheated on, been cheated on, we need to stick together. And Nicole is like feeling some type of way because she's seeing Ted with Eva. But it's like, she's Danny is like, we not gonna let them run you out of anywhere. You belong here just as much as them, maybe even more. And she rips Ted a new one. Ted comes over and he's just like, I'm gonna win you back. By this time next year, we're gonna be celebrating our anniversary again, and we're gonna be so much more in love. The Anastasia done ran Eva off, and Eva runs to her mama, and her mama tells her a new one after she done got ripped a new one by Jan, because Mona told Jan everything that happened. So um Leslie gonna come up to Jan like, hey girl, how you doing? Oh, I miss you. Let's talk. And she just like, no ma'am. You a liar. You a liar, pants on fire, and the truth ain't in you. I'm not about to do this with you. You trifling, you wrong. You used your daughter, you did your daughter wrong. I don't know what I would do if my baby was raised by a woman like you. And she was in her feelings. So when her daughter comes, which, let's talk about this. Leslie, you kicked your daughter out of the house and told her to go to her daddy. And you mad that she went to her daddy and her daddy is doing what you wanted him to do for her. Like, Leslie she is really crazy, because it's like, girl, you told her this is what you told her to do. She's doing what you told her to do, and now you're mad that she's doing what you told her to do? Or are you mad because he is actually being there for her and not for you? It's like, girl, what do you want from this girl? But yeah, she tore Eva a new one and she was yelling at her loud in Orphe jeans. All the people looking around at her, and it's just like, girl, why you embarrassing her? And I felt bad for Eva, and it's just like, I need Eva to sit in what she did for a little bit. I don't like that it looks like all the men are have forgiven her. Like, I understand Ted because that's his daughter. He's trying to beat her for his daughter. Martin is just like, you have come to grips with this whole situation so quickly, and it's just like, you're like, oh, we're gonna, um I'm gonna invite you to my house and all this other stuff. It's just like, it's just too soon for me. It's a little too soon. All the men are just like, oh, we're forgiving her, and all the ladies just like, nope, we have not. Like, no. And I like, I want all of them to still be like, I feel like Ted should be the only one that's like seeing it for Eva. Andre, I understand because he really ain't got no skin in the game. So it's like, I understand why he's just like, it is what it is. Even he gave a little bit more pushback than Martin did. Martin's just like, like, oh, I feel, like, I understand why he came and comforted her after what her mom did when she was at Orphe Jeans, but you inviting her to your house was too quick for me. And then you trying to invite, you telling Kat to come too when Kat just told you she don't want to be a part of that drama. It's like, stop, like, you doing too much right now, Martin. So yeah, Martin comes and he comforts her after she gets, berated by her mom. And Vernon goes and he lets Leslie know, like, I pity you because you over here being mean to all the people that are in your corner, and before you know it, the people that you need, they're gonna be gone because they're not gonna be there because of all that you're doing. And it's like, he's telling the truth, because it's just like, you keep Leslie's just all over the place, really, which is good, like, because that's like the character that we need. We need them crazy, they think they right, but we know they wrong type characters, which is like, I'm loving it, but at the same time, I'm just like, girl, like, you giving me whiplash, like, you just like, come on, chillax. But I guess so. We see Martin and Vernon, and I think this was Tuesday's episode, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Tuesday's episode. They're at Orphe Jeans, and we see some man lurking in the corner, watching them. He was already there before. Well, it's I I we don't know if he followed Martin there, because when we see him, he's already there. And we see him when Leslie comes in and she sees Jan. And Martin's already there because Martin had a dream that morning, and I guess he called Vernon to come meet him for coffee or whatever, come meet him at Orphe Jeans. So when we see the man, Martin's already there. So he must have followed Martin and just sat in the corner, and Martin's not, he ain't got no situational awareness. He ain't looking and seeing what's going on. So when Vernon comes in, they're talking about it, and Martin tells him, like, I'm not gonna run for president after everything that's just happened, like, and these dreams are coming back, so I don't know what it is, so I'm just not, I'm not gonna run for president. And Vernon is happy about this because it's like, Martin, you was dumb anyway, like, you got this whole secret, and why would you want to run for president when you got a whole secret out there, like? So Vernon's happy about that, and then that's when the whole I was gonna call her Dana Leslie, and Eva thing happened. So we see, let's see what else happened this week. Yes, Kat being my performer of the week. That girl had all the comeback. She was like, we need to send that basic B back where she came from. She was not here for Eva at all. She initially, at the beginning of the week on Monday's episode, she meets Martin at Uptown, and that's where she tells Martin, I seen Tomas and Eva together. And Martin was just like, well, maybe he was giving her a piece of his mind. And it was just like, no, he wasn't. He was on her side. Like, why you give her the benefit of the doubt? Now she gonna be like, oh, maybe he was, and maybe he, and so she's gonna go back to him. And it's just like, we don't need her to be with him. Let him be with somebody else. Like, I don't even want him to be with Eva no more. Cause I think Eva and Tomas have more chemistry than Kat and Tomas. But I just don't want to see Tomas because he's still associated with Bill. So we're just gonna he's still doing wrong. So we're gonna push him to the back burner. We're gonna boop, boop. So after again, this I'm all over the place. We just boop, 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 going, we just going today. So Monday's episode, Kat and Tomas, they're at no, Kat and Martin, they're at Uptown. They get food, they go to their mama house. Their mama tell them that Leslie was just here. She showed him the DNA test, and that's when she was just like, oh, that's when Martin was just like, oh, the telepathy thing, because they close in age. And then Nicole is just like, oh, they may be twins. And Kat is just like, I don't know. I don't have nothing for her. I'm never gonna have nothing for her. And if it's the last thing that I do, I'm gonna make them pay for what they did to my mama. She ride for her mama more than Martin does. So then we see them again. We see her again the next day. She's at Orphe Jeans, and Eva comes to her and was just like, so we're going to talk or not? No, we're not going to talk. Why are you coming to me? You know that girl don't like you. Why you a glutton for punishment yourself? Like, why would you even come to her to say anything to her? You should have left her alone. Like, she was, I think this was Wednesday's episode. She don't see it for you. So like, I need you to understand that she don't see it for you. She hasn't seen it for you since the first time she met you, Eva. So why are you even trying with her? But she's still trying. Um, she Kat was just like, if you don't, basically saying, if you don't get away from me, I'm about to throw this drink on you. And Eva was just like, then we'll finally have something that we can share. And I was just like, Kat show did put that cup down real quick. She ain't about that life. Kat ain't had a struggle day in her life. She probably don't know how to fight. So yeah, she put that cup down real quick because she knew not to mess with Ava when it came to that. So that was the same episode. So I think that was Wednesday's episode. And she was like, Martin came and was just like, oh, we're gonna have pizza night. I want my family to be together. And he was just like, I want to invite Eva. And Kat's just like, yeah, count me out. She dips and she goes to see her mom. And she's just talking to her mom. She basically let her know, I don't see it for her. I'm never gonna see it for her. And that is not my sister. That is not my sister. That's basically what Kat's on. Which again is understandable. We understand. Martin invites Eva over to the house. So they have pizza night. Samantha invited Jessica because she's trying to play matchmaker for her brother or whatever. So when Martin comes home with Eva, Samantha has an attitude because she was just like, that's that heifer that made grandma cry. Like, nah, I don't see it for her. She on that cat tip. But by the end of the episode, she's just like, oh my gosh, she does hair. She can do my hair. She works at this salon that I really want to go to, and she did my hair. Oh, so she likes Ava now. And it's just like, she a teenager. She gonna go where the wind blows. So she cool with Ava now. Martin's gotten to know Eva. So they're like, they're building or whatever. What else happened this week? Oh, Andre went to go check on Nicole, and Nicole was like being a little itch to him. Because she's like, initially she was mad when she found out that he knew and didn't say anything, but she like forgave him, but she thought about it again. So then she got mad again. So when he came to check on her, she was just like, why are you here? You just basically being mad at him. And Danny had came over, and Danny was just like, don't be mad. Don't be mad at my boo. You can't do that to my boo. So she talks to her, and um Nicole realizes that she was like in the wrong. She understands that he was in this tough spot. That's his uncle, that's his aunt. So they leave on good terms or whatever. And Nicole is watching them, so she sees a little something something between them. So when she asks Danny, Danny playing dumb like, huh? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? And it's like, no, we're just friends. He helped Chelsea out. And so, they talk a little bit, and um Danny goes back home to her boo thing because her boo thing waiting on her. And Danny is a mess. Oh, I'm gonna be so sad when they have to end because of course we know he going back towards Ashley. Child, child, child. But I guess whatever. So Nicole wants to sell the house. So she's telling Vanessa, like, I want to sell the house. I want you to put my house up. And Vanessa's just like, we're not gonna do that. You need to sit in this for a little bit, like before you just get rid of all of this, you need to like chill, relax, let's see, So she was just like, if you still feel this way in a year, then we putting this house up. And she was just like, all right. So she's decided she's not gonna sell the house for a year. So we gonna see what's gonna happen. We see Haley and Bill. Um Haley ain't got nothing else to do but be all up on Bill. She like, you got a whole job and you ain't doing nothing. And hey, the character of Haley is annoying. She's she has no shame. And it's like, girl, like I just we just gonna leave Haley and Bill where they at. I saw more chemistry between Bill, not more chemistry. I take that back. Bill and Haley have chemistry. I saw more with. I would rather see Bill with Leslie than with Haley because at least crazy can bounce off of crazy. Not saying that Bill is crazy, but they was bouncing off each other. And I will say the the wardrobe department eats on this show. That um that skin leather crocodile coat that Leslie had on with the skin with the snake necklace on that episode when she I forgot what episode that was, but babe, oh, that they eat on this episode. Like, I mean, on this show. The wardrobe department eat down on this show. Like, that crocodile jacket was everything. That necklace, Trish Mann Grant is beautiful. She is beautiful. So she goes to Bill because he served her a cease and desist. Like, you need to stop talking about me because Bill probably did say what he did. He probably did do what she said he doing, but what he did, but he ain't gonna cop to it. So he basically saying, you defaming me, and if you keep talking about me, I'm gonna sue you. So she gonna call her daughter after you done went off on your daughter the other day. You gonna call her on her birthday that you didn't even remember. You forgot about her birthday. You gonna call her to get her and ask her to talk to Ted for you so that Ted can talk to Bill. And it's like, girl. So I'm glad Eva was just like, no, like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And so she gets mad at her again, and she basically saying like, you're ungrateful. She basically tell her, you ungrateful, and we already celebrated your birthday, so I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna celebrate your birthday, and I forgot, and it is what it is. And Eva's like sad about it, and it's just like, at this point, Eva, your mama has shown you who she is. I need you to adhere to who she is. Like they say, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Your mama has done that time and time again, and you still are not believing it. Hopefully she gonna get a clue. She brings up to her mom, like, be careful because the Richardsons may start looking into what happened with Laura. And it was just like, girl, why you even say anything? Now you done put a bug in her head. So of course she done put that bug in her head, and girl, that mama Leslie ain't ish. She really ain't ish because while they talking about that, Kat talking to Chelsea because she didn't have to talk with her daddy, and Kat had to talk with Ted, and she's like, she loves her daddies, but she ain't forgive him for what he did. So she's talking to Chelsea, and she's just like, how do you, like, asking Chelsea, like, how can you I can't think what the word is, but how can you child, I don't went blank in the head. But how can you accept the fact that the man that you grew up loving is a low down dirty dog, basically, is what she's like asking Chelsea, like, how can you do it? Because, her daddy Bill. And, she's just like, welcome to my world. Like, I don't know. I just do. And so they start talking about Laura, and then it hits Kat like, ooh, maybe they did have something to do with it. Ooh, maybe Ava is the one who did it. And it's just like, Kat, like, you on a right track, but you on a wrong road. Like, Kat is blinded by her hatred for Eva, that she's not seeing what's right in front of her eyes. Cause it's just like, Eva may be a lot of things, but she ain't that. That's Leslie. Like, the lady done infiltrated y'all's life in ways that Eva did not. Like, she showed up to you as Anna. She showed up to your mama as Sherry. She's shown up as Leslie to everybody else, but she's really Dana to your daddy. Like that, like, off of Cat, knowing all it is. Like, why would you automatically assume that it's Eva who ran Laura off the road? Because it's just like, again, Eva is a lot of things, but she ain't that. But again, because Kat just hates her so much, she's just like looking for any and everything so that her dad won't build this relationship with Eva. That's like really, really what it all boils down to. So Eva goes back to her dad's because he gave her a key and was just like, you have access at any time, any and all times, you and your mama, basically. So she goes back to go tell her dad what she's thinking. And as she's like, she gets to write a note, she's just like, well, am I writing? Let me text him. So as she's texting, Leslie shows up. So she records a conversation, and she basically, like, she basically is just like, yeah, I know what you did last summer, basically. And Leslie says it all, but not says it. Like, yeah, we did that. Yeah, Eva did that. And it's just like, you just gonna throw your daughter under the bus like that. You like threw her under the bus and then had them back that bus back up. Like, that's what you gonna do to your daughter. Like, for real, for real. And it's like, ooh, child. Like, yeah, you ain't ish. You just so terrible. Um, what else happened this week? Not a lot of stuff happened this week. I don't know if I'm missing any. Oh, I talked about June. Yeah, I talked about June and her having a surgery. Did I? I think I did. She had the surgery. She okay now. Hopefully we're gonna find out who was in that picture. Naomi goes sees her dad, and he's with Ted, and Ted basically says, if I thought Bill would do something like what Leslie is saying he did, I wouldn't have went to him in the first place. So now she's feeling, I don't know if she's feeling okay about it, but she's just like, okay, Ted, that's what it is. Not Ted, Bill. Last week you told Haley that you was done with the Duprees, but you take your narrow behind to Anita and Vernon's to drop off some paperwork for Danny. You could have had that sent over by a courier, just like Vernon said. You really want to have something to do with the Duprees. You also, I did miss something. Did I miss it? No, I think I said it. Martin told the family that he wasn't running for president, and yeah, he told them. But now Smitty is like, "Why you don't want to run for president? You hiding something?" So he goes to talk to Nicole. Nicole was just like, "We'll figure it out." Then Smitty goes to Orphy Jeans, and he calls Bill to see what Martin is hiding, because um Bill all but said that Martin got a secret, basically, when he summoned him last time. So it's just like, yeah, Bill, you keep saying you done with the Duprees, but you keep going to them at you going to the Duprees and the Dupree adjacent. Like, you went to Vernon and Anita's when, again, you could have had that sent over. Then you go and meet up with Smitty because you want to Like, you want to put a bug in his ear without telling him, but you just want to still be in the vicinity of the Duprees, even though you told your wife that you were done with them. And it's just like, whatever, Bill. What else happened? Oh, we had the whole all week they talked about it. It is what it is. Anita and Vernon talking about Anita reaching out to her bandmates. That's what they really talked about all week long. She reached out to Sharon on one of them days. Sharon picked up that phone. Anita was just like, "Hello, hey Sharon, it's me, Anita," and that phone went click. It was just like, "Ooh, Sharon is not seeing it for Anita. I need to know what Anita did to her." She did call her other bandmate, and she answered. So that other bandmate is, I forgot what her name was, but she's gonna show up. She's coming next week. Next week episode. Yeah, next week. So she coming. So Anita's happy that one of the bandmates is coming. So that's really pretty much all that. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, that's pretty much all that happened this week. I actually talked for a lot longer than I thought I would, because we had 5 days, but it was not a lot happening, but I guess a lot at the same time. But yeah, so again, that's all that happened on Beyond the Gates this week. If you liked what you see, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.